Hey guys, how's it going? Kulprit here, and today I wanted to bring you a little bit of a different video. As some of you know, I haven't had a lot of game time lately. I've had a lot of family stuff going on, parties, this, that, the other thing, obviously. So I haven't been able to really get in game too much, but that doesn't mean the brain's not thinking about it. And, you know, I'm still on Twitter and things like that, so I'm still kind of in the loop of what's going on. Dying to get back in and play some games. Battlefield 3, I'm actually missing it, guys. The engine's firing up again. I'm getting ready to get back in there. Have some ideas on how to make it a little different again. And of course DayZ, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about DayZ today, but more so about what I'm excited about, what's coming down the pipeline as far as gaming, and that's pretty much what I'm personally just calling the zombie wars. Basically, it's this whole like competition between DayZ and the new game that's popped up, WarZ. Everybody knows what DayZ is. I don't know how many of you know what WarZ is. It's basically a rival game to DayZ. Long or short, basically, as the story goes, as they're claiming, WarZ was in development as a zombie survival MMO type thing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, DayZ pops up. And for a minute, try to imagine yourself with these poor people. They've been working on this game for a long time, yeah, if it's legitimate, and I tend to kind of believe them a little bit. They're working on this game, they're pretty excited, they've seen the success of Walking Dead, the TV series, and then all of a sudden, this little mod on top of a game that nobody plays really blows up and just catches like wildfire. They must have been so pissed. But at the same time, I give them credit because they recognized right away that they were in a pretty good situation, because as much as DayZ's blown up and been the first of its kind, it's not really first to market yet. And as you know, a lot of things, sometimes first to market wins. But yet, you can't call DayZ first to market because it's just a mod on a clunky game. It leaves a lot to be desired. It's an incredible, compelling experience, but it leaves a lot to be desired. It's very much an alpha. It's an alpha of a mod of a clunky game. I like the game. I love the game, but it's the truth, you know. So I think the developers, I can't hammer something. I can't think of the developer of WarZ off the top of my head. I'm sorry. They recognize that while it might be a great concept, there's a lot lacking there. And there's a lot of frustration there. And so, despite not being first to market, they are in a very good situation, and they've decided to take advantage of that. Whether you want to say it's copied or not, it doesn't really matter as far as a player or a consumer, because having WarZ in the picture and competing directly with DayZ over this market is a good thing for us players. It's a good thing for us consumers, you know, to have that direct competitor. It can really only benefit us. But basically, I mean, WarZ, for the most part, come out on record as saying they basically were working on their own game, and they saw the success of DayZ, and they literally ripped the ideas that they thought were good, the concepts, and what people were all the rage about, and they've put them into their own game. So there's obviously going to be different wrinkles and things, and actually what I'm going to do, I'm working on it right now, is basically an analysis video, a breakdown of what is WarZ, for those of you that might be interested, and why you should keep an eye on it. Some good things, some bad things. I mean, there's a lot of information out there, but there's a lot of information missing at the same time. I'm going to be behind you guys as you're watching me talk in the corner. I'm going to just scroll some screenshots. Now, we all know screenshots can be incredibly misleading, but this game looks beautiful. And, I mean, if they can deliver on half of what they're talking about doing, it could be a really cool game, and definitely one I'm going to try out. I hesitate to get too excited about games, but this one's got me. It's got me kind of antsy, you know? So, I mean, to give you a little background, like, while I love the whole zombie genre, and I read a lot of books about, you know, post-apocalyptic zombie things, if you guys are interested, ask me, I'll give you some recommendations. At first I thought the WarZ game was based off the book of World War Z. If you haven't read it, definitely check it out. It's a pretty light read, but very interesting. It's based around a zombie apocalypse type of thing. I think there's even a movie being made with Brad Pitt and whatever, but I haven't kept up on that. But a really cool story, written a little differently in the form of interviews and whatnot, but cool story if you're into zombies and all that kind of thing. As much as I like that, the thing that really gets me with DayZ is the openness, the completely open sandbox, the no rules, you know, and that's the real thing. This goes for me all the way back like 15 years ago. Yeah, I'm showing my age. I played a game, I think it was like right in college. It was the first time I really got on the internet and kind of really experienced these things. I played a game called Ultima Online. Now, a lot of you young guys aren't going to know what the hell I'm talking about, but some of you guys that are as old as me, you might have played it. If you did, please post in the comments. I'd love to kind of get a discussion going on that. Still, it's one of the most important games in my life, really. It was the first kind of obsession game for me. You guys think I'm obsessed with Battlefield 3. Not even close. I played this game for years and years. I mean, the closest thing I can compare it to is World of Warcraft. It was one of the first ones, first MMOs. At the time, they called them MMORPG, basically. It was before EverQuest, if you're familiar with that. Kind of a direct competitor with EverQuest. But the reason I love that game, it was completely open. There was, no rules or limits on player interaction. You stumbled across another player, you could do whatever you wanted. You could talk to him, you could salute him, you could flip him off. There was probably some kind of animation like that. I think there was a crotch chop, believe it or not. Or you could kill him, or you could steal from him, the possibilities were endless, and it was literally just a big sandbox with players in it. You could have housing and loot and all that stuff that we all know is commonplace now. But unfortunately, what's not commonplace is that openness, that freedom to do whatever you wanted and let the players sort of police themselves. Ultima Online hit a ton of popularity, and unfortunately, what happened is EverQuest came along where you didn't have the PvP. These games now that say PvP, it's not PvP to me. It never will be with these zones or these PvP specific servers. You'll never get me to think about it like I did that game. It was completely open. Do whatever you wanted. There was murderers. There was anti-murderers. There was real wars. It had meaning. It was great. It was great. And I mean, obviously, I'm getting all nostalgic on you, but the idea is, it was sociologically fascinating to me. What players did when they ran across each other, and did they fight? Did they steal? Did they team up to kill that other guy? The possibilities are endless, and that's what, no interaction was the same, and that was incredible. And it was the first game I was just like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm playing this. Unfortunately, that's all too lacking these days. It really is. I mean, most of the games we get are cookie cutters. They're just extensions of series, and as remarkable as they might be, before we buy the game, before we even put it in, we know what to expect, so to speak. So I think that's where DayZ got me. I was just like, wow, this is great. This is a throwback game for me. The possibilities are endless. I can do whatever I want. The repercussions are my own. The danger is everywhere, and that is what DayZ is to me. And that is what these two games, to me, I hope, keep. And that's kind of some of my concerns. I mean, I'm going to list a couple concerns here. Both sides, DayZ, WarZ. And just give you a little basic pros, cons, basic of comparison for the two. First of all, DayZ, the head developer, Rocket, he goes by is his gamer tag, I guess you could say. He said on a couple times that he wants to make the zombies the main threat. He doesn't want them to be kind of an ancillary thing, part of the environment that you have to work around to get your loot or to fight that other guy. He wants the zombies to be the focus, to be the thing. I don't like this at all. Anytime you make artificial intelligence or bots the focus or the main threat, I think you're doing it wrong. It's just how it is for me. That worries me a lot on the direction of DayZ, DayZ 2.0, whatever you want to call the standalone game, whatever they're going to call it. So I'm worried about the direction. I'm also worried about the engine. I mean, as much as Arma 3 looks incredible, and I've heard a lot of really good reviews about it and impressions that people that have seen it played at E3, I believe it was. Surprisingly, all the impressions are really good, but people that are usually pretty critical. I still worry. I mean, it's the next generation of a really clunky Arma 2 engine. Arma 2 is incredibly poorly optimized. So even if it's a lot better than Arma 2, is it going to be good enough? I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be an improvement, and the reviews are good, but I'm a little worried about that. Another big thing I'm worried about is DayZ has just recently, like last week, announced it's going to go standalone. Obviously, that's a great thing. I'm excited about this, and I even approve of the Minecraft model, where they're going to put out basically sell you early access. But I'm worried that it being released so soon, it's only going to fix the glitches and the problems that we currently have. I mean, I think a big thing that it's going to fix is the big goal is just making getting into the damn game easier. That's so hard. For those of you who don't play DayZ, the hardest part of the game sometimes is getting in the game. It's so frustrating. Just Friday, I tried to play on. I had a couple hours. My wife was like, go play some games. And I just kind of wanted to play by myself. I didn't want the hassle of teaming up with everybody. I tried to get on a server. I just couldn't get on. I tried for at least an hour. All these different servers, whatever, kicked off for this reason, that reason, incompatibility. It was so frustrating. I said, screw it. Game's supposed to be fun. I'm out of here. So that's the big thing that I think they're going to try and fix, and that's the whole big reason for a standalone. You just click it, you go into DayZ, you don't go into Arma and all these other things. That has new apps and software and mods that are making it easier, but it's not easy at all. the DayZ model, it kind of suggests to me that it's going to be a long time till final release. You know, I mean, they're talking about a release since before Christmas. Well, that's in a Minecraft model. That could be, you know, open beta. That's all that means is releasing in a Minecraft model. All that means is open beta. It starts, or open alpha maybe. We don't know. So final release could be. I mean, how long was Minecraft in beta? Years. I mean, I bought that game over a year ago. So that concerns me a lot. I mean, while we might be getting DayZ Standalone, we might not get anything really new for 6, 7, 8, 9 months. We don't know. We might just get basically, you know, our current DayZ concept on an Arma 3 engine, which don't get me wrong, I'm excited to just get that. But that might be what we're getting before Christmas. We don't know. We've got to hear more. So those are my real quick concerns for DayZ. For WarZ, you know, they talk about skill systems and skill ladders. It might remove that blank slate feel that I love so much about DayZ. You die, you wash up, you start on the shore again with nothing, and you start all over again, and everybody starts all over again. And the thing I like about DayZ is really the only thing that separates you from your opponent that you see 200 yards out is your gear and your tactics, and that's it. It's very pure. Now that guy might have a better weapon than you, so you could visually see that, so you know he has an advantage, but you have tactics to counter that. And it's just a very pure game. Now, in WarZ, I worry that if I see a guy across a canyon, he might only have a shotgun, but for some reason he might have some crazy skill set that makes him run faster, or have better vision, or better hearing, and suddenly my flanking maneuver with my suppressed weapon doesn't mean anything. And I have no way of knowing that, and that's what concerns me. I'm not so crazy about that. WarZ seems more like a free-to-play model type of game where, you know, there's going to be microtransactions for vanity items, which I don't mind so much about vanity items, but there's certain convenience items. Upon death, they're going to put like a death timer on their regular mode. There's a hardcore mode, regular mode. Again, I'm going to do another video on all this. You can buy like a quicker respawn and things. I don't have a problem with that with free-to-play games, but in this concept, I worry that there's going to be too much cheese. There's going to be too much for sale. Okay. WarZ is definitely going for a softer version of the experience. They're going to have a hardcore mode, and they're going to have a soft or normal mode. Even their hardcore mode, from my impressions, is going to be far less punishing than DayZ. And to me, I love how just harsh DayZ is. And I think gamers these days have been spoiled. They've been coddled, and I love jumping back and getting that harsh feeling. That harsh environment. A zombie apocalypse would be a hell of a place to exist, okay? I don't want, you know, nets to catch me if I fall, so to speak. I want to die and know I got to start. That's the crux of the game right there, really. WarZ's talked about safe zones. While, you know, on paper safe zones sound good or whatever, they rarely ever really work in game. So that has me really worried. Again, they seem to be going more the MMO route, whereas DayZ is more kind of a sandbox route. So I lean more towards DayZ than WarZ. I can't ignore, though, graphically. WarZ is beautiful, as you guys have seen behind me on the scroll. You've seen some screenshots. It looks tremendous. It has some really good concepts that I like, and I'm going to go through that in the other video I do. Regardless of my concerns, though, I am excited. I'm very excited to see what happens. These are two games that have been relatively recently announced that are coming pretty quickly. You know, I believe the beta for WarZ is going to be relatively soon, thinking maybe a September-ish is what they seem to be hinting at. I'm not sure. I'm trying to dig up more information on that. And like you said, DayZ has said before Christmas, and I don't think it's going to be that long. I think they both realize they have to strike while the iron's hot. This whole zombie craze, you know, just think about it. What was it, a year ago? 2 years ago? It was all vampires all the time. All these, you know, just cheesy romantic vampire movies and shows and blah, blah. Yeah. So it's zombies right now. Walking Dead's brought the zombies to the forefront. So I think they have to be aware that there's another chance that maybe werewolves in 6 months. You know how society is. It's very fickle, very changing. So they got, and this popularity of DayZ, they have to strike while the iron's hot. They have to get these things out. So I don't think we're going to see. I think it's going to be sooner rather than later on this. And you know, if you ask me which one I'm excited for, I have no idea. I'm just excited. I think between the two games, I think at least one of them I'm going to enjoy. I mean, they're both very similar, but yet they both have enough differences that, you know, I I think there'll be different experiences. For sure, they're going to be different experiences, but I feel pretty confident I'm going to like one of them. And they're going to continue to expand on this really cool, intriguing experience that I've had in DayZ. So I'm excited for that. And I'm looking forward to that. So, I mean, I just want to give you guys a quick breakdown of how I see the two shaping up. Maybe kind of bring you guys a little aware to those that didn't know that there is a competitor to DayZ out there. And look forward in the next day or 2 or 3, depending on my time. I'm going to do a breakdown video and an analysis of, WarZ. I'm going to go into some of these screenshots you guys saw and kind of talk about what I see in them and what my impressions of those are. And I'm going to go through basically their FAQs and things like that. And I'm going to point out the most intriguing things, and we'll talk about it for those that are interested. So if you have any kind of things you want to ask me about WarZ, please post it in the comments. I would appreciate that. It'd give me some directionality. So otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. Thanks for being so patient with me. I'm getting crushed, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. Summer's almost over. Kulprit will be back, and I got the bug, man. I can't wait. We got a lot of BF3 coming. We got these 2 games I'm talking about now. We got other games keeping my eye on, so it's going to be a really fun fall. So thanks a lot, guys. Take care.